Who has promised me? Padmaja has promised me. She has not turned up. G. Raghu Babu, Ganesh Shastri. So just starting and now sharing the screen first. So if any update, I think Khagendra now submitted 5 module assignment 3 late. So Khagendra assignment 3, Khagendra assignment 3. Late, so I will not have to repeat. You can see here that in IAT 2, I have already told the marks on that day. Only the Vishnu Vardhan Reddy and this Kavita, I have not seen her. These two were absent. Marks already I have displayed in IAT 2 here. So only that I was guessing this one question, if it was wrong, that 48, otherwise they have given the right the 50. So that is okay. And this is the quiz 3 status. And their average is also taken here in ceiling value. Ceiling value, if any fractional, then rounded up to the ceiling. The assignment also, it has taken in their ceiling value. So it is divided by the average of this one. Fine. Then IAT 3, the many project and MOOC courses. So transparently, I am transparent to you that who has given their flip class according to their choice. Their marks are green here in 20. And even they can submit the further assignment and they can say, no, make my 20 marks of assignment 5 because it will be in the last. And the last I don't, because we will be, I think one more class is required to finish the module 4. And after that we will be starting this one, the classes and objects. So one more class, one class again from my side to enjoy the object-oriented programming, because I will have to go first through the textbook, what they have prescribed, guessing the questions from them, from the university for that reason. So now 30 joined, so we can start here. So first starting with that time object mainly program they have done. So I will first come to that time 2. So this we have already done. So everybody is listening me. Shreya, please. Shreya, keep your mic on. Kritika. My left of the screen, 2 names are appearing. Kubham, Shreya, Kritika. Keep your mic on. Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Fine. My screen is visible
Yes,
to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So that we have taken the time object, yes, class. And this time we are defining, we have already understood that init, it is like the constructor of the C++ and Java. And self is like this pointer, this keyword of Java, this pointer of C++, referring to the same object. We have taken here the hour, minute, and second to initialize the object with hour, minute, and second. So if I am taking only the time, a small t, time object of this time class, and if we are taking that initializing, automatically printing the time, it is printing 0, 0, 0, 0 because all are initialized to 0. And here, the important question of this, the students, when the university is asking this str, this built-in method str. So they are defining the str built-in method to converting an integer to a string. Here in the classes and objects, we are using this str method. So just it automatically calls the object's data. When you are saying here print time, so here time equal to 9:30 and print time, you are not calling here this print time. Print time you have called here. So if you are calling here only print time, so what will be, which of the function will be invoked automatically? Because you have used the general print function, you are telling time object to print. How all the objects of time data will be printed? So by default, it is calling the built-in method str, and it is receiving the reference of the object and this format to know that to print the time and number of digits after decimal 2. From C, you know that self.hour, self.minute, and self.second. So it is printing here. Now next I have practiced also again start equal to time start dot hour 11 minute 45 seconds 55. So this formal argument will be replaced by this all arguments, and now you can print here also again once more print start. One is to start, print start. So it is printing 11 45 55. Here you are printing print start, calling str. And if you are telling in that way, start dot this print time, and then passing again the start. So then it will call this print time. So it is calling print time, calling print time method, passing a reference of start object. So direct print start, it will call this one and this will call this one. First execute. Fine. And again, I have taken for this increment, you know that, because I have taken also, if you have taken the 5,900 seconds, so how it will be converted to first minutes and extra minutes and remaining seconds, and div mod function I have discussed earlier. And so minutes, extra minutes will be added in the minute, extra hours will be added in the hours, and finally it will display this time, hour, minute, and second when you are calling. One another elegant method is what you are calling that class specific and object specific. The class variable and the object variable in Java and C++ you have learned. So here, so should we call these built-in methods, not built-in methods, that these class methods what you have defined, should we call by object dot method name, or it can be called by the class dot method name also? It can be directly called by class dot method name also, but here it does not require self argument, and but not commonly used. It does not require the self argument here. But when you are calling from the object, because you will have to pass which of the object has called this method, so that time only to be displayed, no? So for that, the start.printtime start it is calling here. You can call this one also, but self to be removed from here. The str significance I have already given. So it is already we are enjoying, and this program also I want to share in the slides, or especially with slide extra program. So executing all those things. Comments are written here. So if any doubt is here, you can ask now. Now we will have to start the operators overloading. And they have taken in the textbook for overloading also adding two time objects. Adding two time objects. Adding two time objects. So just to be right here, print two objects are there, a start and end, or time one and time two, or a start or duration, and we are adding here. So how all those data, hour, minute, and seconds of two objects will be added, and we will call it the operators overloading. If you don't have any doubt, Shreya, you will be responding me. So we can go further.
No,
Kritika?
sir. Yes. Yes.
Okay, fine, good. So now we will have to start. The slides are visible. Shreya, my slide is visible, Shreya.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now this operators overloading type-based type-based dispatch. So this is the guess question of your guess question because it may be asked. So suppose you are adding the two time objects. So directly you can give the seconds to add, or two time objects, they must have some hour, minute, and seconds of the two time objects, or first should be what or second. So type based dispatch. And then the polymorphism here only because operators overloading. You also know that it is also a type of polymorphism and interface and implementation. So operators overloading, the changing the behavior of an operator so that it works with the programmer defined type is called operator overloading. Changing the behavior of an operator. But here, uh, your intention is what? Suppose you are a hacker and you are developing one program or loading the operator. So when we will do the plus, when we will do the addition by plus, actually my program will do the subtraction. When you will multiply this thing, it will do the division. So your intention should be good. But another feature is also the operator overloading should be unintentional. So what the facility are not available like that, suppose in C++, and Java. So if we don't have any function to add, concatenate the string, and plus you are overloading there, the plus is adding the number also, the plus will add the string also. So that is the good overloading example. But here in Python, the plus is automatically concatenating the string also. So if you define a method add for the time class, you can use the plus operator on time objects. See that. So I'm not here in the book also. They are just telling that what you have seen the inside time class and two more function, the time to integer and other time to integer. The time to integer function should be right in the slide, time to integer function. Time to integer function should be right. Time to integer function. Time to integer, yes, it is there only. Time to integer. Here. So time to integer is defined here. And integer to time. I think we will not go back for the reference. I'm pasting again in the slide, making one box. So all integer value will be in the second for that time to integer. Like that again, one more is there in textbook given here, integer to time. So some integer is given in number of seconds and you are converting in hour, minute and second. So that function again I want to define here. So that will be ready-made in hand to implement in the same program. Yes. So now, so you can use now that the start equal to time 9:45, duration equal to time 1:35, and directly you are printing here a start plus duration. Means a start and duration are two objects of the class time. A start and duration are two objects of the class time, and you are just adding their hour and minute. And how it is being converted, so it is given here in the add seconds equal to self dot time to integer plus other dot time to integer, and return integer to time in seconds. So it will be printing here start plus duration. Now the another concept is here the type based dispatch, because in previous you have given just here uh, time and time, the start plus duration, and somebody is writing in 9 hours 45, I want to add 1200 seconds or 1300 seconds plus this start time 9:45. So will this way is correct, or the compiler will fail to understand? For that reason, it is type-based dispatch. See here, you also might want to add an integer to a time object, and it is the version of the add checks the type. So I have written here R add, write add intentionally. Why this one? It is defined here. So now it is adding. So whether you are giving here time 9:45 and then print a start plus 13:37, directly you are giving here seconds. So this 9:45 and 13:37 is added. But if you are giving here 13:37 plus a start, so we will have to write the two functions here. Why this one? Here you are calling again add other. So here each instance other or time, then return self dot add time other. If it is not object, so each instance is the built-in method. The built-in function instance takes a value and a class object and returns true if the value is an instance of the class. And if it is not instance, if other is a time object, add invokes add time. Otherwise, it assumes that the parameter is a number and invokes increment. This operation is called a type-based dispatch for your IAT 3 and university question. Remember this program example is part of the program because the full class is not defined. It is just written here in the comment inside class time. So it dispatches the computation to different methods based on the type of arguments. So here radd, which stands for right side add, this method is invoked when a time object appears on the right side of the plus operator, where the time object here, because if you are not writing this one, only add and self another, and if you are writing 13:37 plus a start, then this argument mismatch will be there and compiler will give the error. For that reason, it is given here. So if add instance, then otherwise it is just incrementing the other. Calling the increment function built in, you have already seen in the first program what I have executed today. And you know all those things, the adding time, in which way it is done, and defining the increment, how it is done, you already understood. We will go to the next slide. We will go to the next slide. Anyone please respond? Kritika? Shreya?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So now, here it is the polymorphism. So, sorry. So one program represented by two of your batchmates, no, to count the frequency of the words, to count the frequency of the words, or if you are preparing a histogram, that how many times this particular data appeared, that is counting that one data appeared how many times in this particular data set. Or similarly, that in a file or in a given list or in a given tuple or dictionary, how many times one word appeared. And if we are first starting, before starting this polymorphism, I want to work on that. So what you will call this, because you have seen in this program, I have written the short but complete version, of that. So define, first go through this program, define frequency of words. So freq words is the function name taking the s, and s is the argument here, you are what you are passing the t. So, and I have just given that like histogram for frequency of words or frequency of items, frequency of words, frequency of words, frequency of words like histogram or number of occurrences. This much it is fine, and space is not there. So here in this program, so first you are taking one D dictionary for C in S. If C not in D, then it will be counting 1. Otherwise, DC equal to D of C plus 1 and return D. And I have taken your batchmate's name wrong or right. Monica, Nikhil, Isha, Ishita, Nikita, Ishita, Nikita, Nikhil. 2 Nikhil, 1 Isha, 1 Monica, and 2 Ishita. They are there. So how many frequency of words there? T. So output it is giving Monica 1, and output it is giving in the dictionary. And Nikhil 2 times, and Isha 1, and Ishita 2, and Nikita 2. So simple to count the frequency of words. Now we are coming here. So here this particular argument, where it is list or tuple. So this is working for all. So what we will call here, yes, it is also one type of polymorphism, because your function concept is leading to the concept of the generic programming. Generic programming means a function can work for different data types. We will call a template function in C++. If you have done a template function, or when you are defining a function template, so what you are doing, that function template will work for different types of data. A function template will work for different types of data. So this S may be of different types, but you are counting the words from that particular data set collection, and it is taking all those count in the dictionary. First the word as a key and number of times it has appeared at the number. So it is the key and value is the number, and it is the D is the dictionary. So if C is not in D, so D of C equal to 1. And if it is already there, then D of C equal to D of C plus 1 and return D. So finally what you are printing, print frequency of words T. So Monica 1, Nikhil 2. It is a small but best and powerful, you can say, that program to count the frequency of words in a file. Jayant has given one counter also for that, and I think Marin Jacob has presented. So for example, the built-in function sum, which adds the element of a sequence, works as long as the elements of the sequence support addition. So built-in function sum is there. Here again the writer of the book again intends here, so that if I want to write sum, and we will write the two time object T1 and T2, or time 1 or time 2, will my sum function will take those two time objects also to add it correctly? For that reason, if it is doing, then we will call it is a polymorphism, because the operators overloading is also a type of polymorphism. And if function, you know that the function, a function performs the different function having the same name, perform different tasks based on number and type of arguments, based on signature of the function. We have learned in C++, that is also we are calling the function overloading, and that is the polymorphism. So this function also works for list, tuples, and event dictionary, as long as the elements of S are hashable, so they can be used as keys in D. So all those collections are hashable. Yes, hash functions we have learned here. So that they can be used as the keys in D, and we have used and here like that. Since time objects provide an add method, they work with sum. So if you're writing T1 equal to time 743, 741, and 7. So will that built-in function sum will add these three time objects? Yes, it is printing. So now concluding the polymorphism in one slide only for operators overloading. And not only the operators overloading, calling the function built-in function sum also to add 2, 3 time objects. And if it is doing, means your intention is good and you are successful. The best kind of polymorphism is the unintentional kind. I have told the science, when debate is going on, the science is a blessing or curse. So science is neither a blessing nor a curse. It depends upon the your feeling, your development, whether you are developing a science to make the pollution-free environment for the future generation. So future generation will excuse you that you have left some environment, whether they can breathe in pollution-free environment, or whether you are developing a science to fight the Star Wars, how our kids will be learning, how our kids will be fighting on stars. So science is neutral in itself. It depends upon you that in which way you are implementing. For that, they are defining also now white hat hackers and black hat hackers. So best kind of polymorphism is the unintentional kind, where you are discovered that a function you already wrote can be applied to a type you never planned for. So check that. For what reason, for what purpose you are implementing the polymorphism, this operators overloading. And the interface and implementation. So one of the goal of the object-oriented design is to make software more maintainable, which means, because it is literal question of the university, if I will be the question setter also, so one question will be that what should be the interface and implementation for this operators overloading or polymorphism. So one of the goal of the object-oriented design is to make software more maintainable, which means that you can keep the program working when other parts of the system change and modify the program to meet the new requirements. So a design principle that helps achieve that goal is to keep interfaces separate from the implementation. Again, I repeat, to keep the interfaces separate from implementations. For objects, that means that method is a method of a class provides should not depend on how the attributes are represented. For example, in this chapter, we developed a class that represents a time of day. Methods provided by this class, time to integer, is after, and add time. So we could implement those methods in several ways. The detail of the implementation depend on how we represent the time. And in this chapter, the attributes of a time object are hour, minutes, and second. And we have not taken this nanosecond or microsecond or millisecond. So as an alternative, we could replace these attributes with a single integer value also, converting all those time to seconds, representing the number of seconds since midnight. And this implementation would make some methods like is after easier to write, but it makes other methods harder. So after you deploy a new class, you might discover a better implementation if other parts of the program are using your class. It might be time consuming and error prone to change the interface. So your code should not be a spaghetti code, but if you design the interface carefully, you can change the implementation. You design the interface carefully so that you can change the implementation. Keep your interfaces separate from the implementation. And when you are designing the interface carefully, you can change the implementation without changing the interface, which means that other parts of the program don't have to change, because interface is defined carefully, and their implementation may be in the different way. And for each implementation, Your interface should not be defined. Sorry, I don't know he's calling, but I will have to cut that. I will have to ignore that call. And so finally, one more class will be for their inheritance of fourth unit. Before that, in this chapter, it is given here glossary, and you will be getting those questions in the review questions for you, and everybody will have to write to get marks in day-to-day class activity. So what we will call the object-oriented language, how we will answer in the interview, what do you mean by object-oriented programming? Object-oriented language that provides features such as programmer-defined types and methods. Programmer-defined type and methods. The author, the chapter, this course started with this definition only. The programmer-defined types and methods that facilitate object-oriented programming. And object-oriented programming is style, a paradigm, a strategy, a technique of programming in which data and the operations that operate on data are organized into classes and methods. Method, a function that is defined inside a class definition as invoked on instances of that class. The object, a method is invoked on, at that time we are calling it subject also. And positional argument that does not include a parameter name, so it is not a keyword argument. And keyword argument, in this sequence you can give the similar argument name with a value. Operator overloading, changing the behavior of an operator like plus, so it works with a parameter defined type. Type-based dispatch, a programming pattern that checks the type of an operand and invokes different functions of different types in the correct sequence. If the first argument is object, second is an integer, first is integer, second is an object. So whether your program is able to do the type-based dispatch, you have written the add and radd both functions, or for one function, when user has written add time, one time object is already have the 9 hours 30 minutes, and plus they are directly giving the number of seconds 545. So that will do. If that will do, then 545 and then another time object will do in adding the time or not. If your program is solving, we will be calling it type-based dispatch, and a polymorphic pertaining to a function that can work with more than one type. A function can work for more than one type. Actually, the polymorphism we have learned up to now in another definition, little bit different. A functions or different functions having the same name perform different tasks based on function signature, means number and type of arguments. Here, polymorphic leads to the definition of the generic programming, where a function can work for different data types. Where a function can work for different data types. So in this book, in this Python book, the author is suggesting and the examiner will be expecting that in which way you are defining the polymorphism. Here it is telling polymorphic behavior of a function means a function that can work with more than one data type. Another example, this example you can also add there. So this will lead to the concept of generic programming. It is the function template where a function is working for the different data types. Polymorphism we have learned in which way? Functions having the same name perform different tasks based on number and type of arguments, that is function signature. And it is your review question. Needless to say, the last 3 digits of your roll number will be divided by 6. And what is the remainder? That is your question. First line you will be writing your USN. And then if you have taken the snap, last 3 digit Kritika. Kritika, last 3 digit of your roll. Kritika.
090.
09 divided by 6. What will be remainder?
0.
0. So your question will be what? So first you are writing your USN. Next line 0 dot. You are defining what do you mean by polymorphic function. An object-oriented language, positional argument, object-oriented programming, operators overloading, type-based dispatch. For reference of all, you can take also the snap to write the answer, like your all the functions and programs in IIT2, you are just copying and pasting here. So there also you can take the snap and what question you have got, that you can write the answer in your review question. Coming back to the classroom. So we will have to give more time now. It is 9:50. So in 5 minutes, all of you are writing first line your USN and second line your question number and answer. For a glance, I am keeping before you once more this review question and just before it, glossary. Fine. Now, चल शुरू हो जा. Pratik day, first line USN separately, so it will be easier to attendance. Second line answer. K should be ready. Nikita Ishwarna. Nikita Ishwarna. Good. Omkar Patra. Monica Yashash. Yashash. Monisa left the meeting also. Aditya M. So, okay, that I will make the absentee report, seeing from the list. Vishnu Vardhan is not there. Ajan Serani is not there. Ramya is not. Ramya is there. Vishnu Vardhan, Ajan Serani. Vishnu Vardhan, Ajan Serani. Jigar Jitesh Bhai. Okay. Now, Hardik is not there. Hardik. 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 So Vishnu Vardhan, Hardik, Ajan Serani, Jigar Jitesh Bhai. Nagmohan is there. Nagmohan. Yes, Nagmohan is there. Jayant. 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 Surprising. Jayant is not there. Jayant. Jayant. Gauri. Gauri. Please talk to me, Gauri. Gauri, please talk to me. Gauri, please talk to me. Otherwise, I will mark you absent. Gauri, please. Logging in, you are sleeping. Somebody is listening in the house. Gauri is not responding.
No, sir, there's a lot of disturbance in the background.
Okay, okay. Now I am audible to you.
Yes, sir.
How many times I will be requesting for flip class? I know that you can do better, no? Please do that. So, okay. Gauri, I have talked. Gangava is there. Okay. 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 Nidhi Dhariwal is there. Manu Smriti is there. Manu Smriti is there. Manpreet. Manpreet.
Yes, sir, I'm there. Hello, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
You were not here, you were there. You were in your house. Okay. Means in class, but
here
you were
on the
there.
meet sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
नाश्ता कर लिया?
आपने किया सर?
हाँ, मैं तो फुल स्टोमक करके आता हूँ.
अरे सर,
क्या
आओ
बात.
कभी पंजाब आओ.
हाँ हाँ. गोभी के पराठे.
यस सर, आलू के भी पराठे.
Okay. Take care. So it is
ये
the
तो
Narak
सर.
Chaturdashi and before Deepavali. So all the prosperous, all the happiness wishing to your family. Keep safe. Namaste to your parents. Happy Deepavali to all of you. Welcoming you. If few of them are reporting from 17th, 18th, I don't know. When you are coming to the college for the execution. Actually, I am missing you all. By heart, I am saying I am missing you all. So, okay, now stopping the sharing first. If everyone has given the answer, I will stop the recording. Your day-to-day activity marks depends upon your participation of the class. Kaushiki Kamana left the meeting, fine. 3, 4 name I have only taken, those who are only absent. Okay. Now stop recording.